So you guys are launching at a very critical time, a critical juncture for the Philippine educational space, the K-12 reform. Could you tell us a little bit about how you think it will affect the sector moving forward, and the children, of course, the
Sure.
students?
So K-12 is a great program. It's very ambitious, and it's been started by this administration. And it's adding 2 years, a year of kindergarten in the beginning, and then more importantly, 2 years of senior high school, so grades 11 and 12. Previously, students finished mostly at 16 and either went straight to college or tech voc, or had to wait 2 years until they could get employment. With this reform, students will be actually enrolled in high school for an extra 2 years, picking up useful skills, and if they're taking one of the academic strands, also more academic knowledge. And so by the time they finish at 18, they can actually do 3 things: either work, or go to college, or be an entrepreneur. In terms of how the reform is going to pan out, it's going to be messy. It's always messy when you have 1.5 million kids who suddenly have an extra 2 years of school. The government has done a great job of both building a lot of classrooms on the public side and really engaging the private sector through the voucher system, whereby you can send your kid to a private school and you only have to pay the difference between the voucher and what the school is charging. It will be chaotic just because a lot of students and their parents haven't either fully been briefed or used that information that they were given to apply and secure a spot. So in a couple of days, which is June 13, on paper, 1.5 million students should be starting senior high school. What you'll find is actually a lot of private high schools are delaying their enrollment to either July or August. And there will be a lot of schools which will not be ready to accommodate all the students, or will not have the strand or the tracks that the students were expecting. So I think it's going to be messy for a couple of weeks, to say the least, but I'd be surprised if it would still be chaotic 2 months from now. Where Edukasyon comes in is we try to bridge any information gap that may still exist. So we work hand in hand with DepEd, with CHED, with TESDA, and also with guidance counselors and foundations to really try to almost rehash the existing message in different ways, whether it's through memes or listicles or blogs, or we have a help desk on our website, or a text line, or on our Facebook page. You try to find the users where they are and try to engage with them and share with them all this information about how to get into senior high, how to pick your subject, what's the point of it, etc. And so we think the next weeks will be very interesting, a bit chaotic, but it's an incredible reform.
So one of the major problems that government keeps pointing to in terms of things that are holding back the economy is the massive sort of skills mismatch between education and the skills that commerce or industry requires. What for you is the best way to sort of bridge that gap?
Sure. So there's 2 ways. You can either provide your own supply. So I could have just tried to set up a school specifically dedicated for nursing, or for call centers, or for maritime, or for engineering. Or the other way is to try to basically put transparency and bring all the educational options into one place, allowing students to understand the full opportunities that they have. And so you give them this choice. And then second of all, you need to give them advice. So you need to explain to a student not just that these are all the engineering courses, but you need to say, by the way, if you study civil engineering, then obviously you can become a civil engineer, and this is what being a civil engineer is like. This is how much it pays. This is whether or not it's an industry in demand. Our favorite example is a few years ago, there were about 200,000 unemployed nurses, because you had all those students who heard there were nursing jobs. And so all these schools set up nursing schools, the students graduated, but then there were way too many graduates and not enough nursing jobs to accommodate all of them. And so you ended up with all these trained but unemployable nurses, many of which actually ended up working in call centers. And so for us, it's really about the career pathways. If you give the student enough information to make an informed decision on his education, he or she will be much more likely to end up with a degree or with a formation that is actually in demand by employers.
Well, what's your outlook on the Philippine educational sector? Do you think we're going to move more towards the STEM, or do you think it'll be more kind of holistic in that
So
sense?
I think, if I had to give a prediction, there's probably going to be some rationalization. We have 2 or 3 times as many colleges per capita as the US, which clearly shows that there's probably too many education providers. The second prediction, if you will, is that schools will start specializing more. I think the model of offering a lot of different subjects might have worked in the past, but going forward, you'll want to see schools that specialize in STEM. So for example, like Mapu has a very good engineering department. Our view is that the schools that lead in their departments should expand them and should probably acquire other schools or merge with other schools to kind of specialize in those fields. And so I think we will probably be moving towards a system, actually probably stay in a system where you pick the subject that you take. I don't think we'll be moving towards the liberal arts American style anytime soon.